Hey guys, it's your girl, Mrs. Share, and today I'm going to be covering the 7 key tips and my key factors to preparing for and recovering from a myomectomy, an open myomectomy, or a fibroid removal surgery. I actually had surgery 4 weeks ago, just this week, and I had 2 fibroids the size of grapefruits, about 9 centimeters by 8 centimeters, and 3 smaller ones. So be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for my 7 key factors to recovering and preparing for an open myomectomy. All right, so I had a myomectomy actually this is week 4. So I'm 4 weeks post surgery and just now recovering. So I wanna go over the 7 key things that really made a difference in my recovery. I've heard from my doctor and other girlfriends who've gone through a myomectomy or have had fibroids removed the same way I did. And I've been told over and over that I've recovered really quickly. I'm going to go through 1 through 7 of these key things that really, I think, made a difference for me and that I really think helped speed up my recovery. So point number 1, mindset. So I found out that I had to have this fibroid removal done right around probably just before Christmas time. And right from day 1, and I knew I wanted to get this done really quickly, I started preparing myself mentally. I've had surgeries before. I am an athlete and I have had athletic injuries and surgeries over the years. But, this is really different, going in and having an abdominal surgery done, that it's linked to your fertility. So the mindset was big for me. I automatically kind of got into game mode and really started thinking about, how am I going to amend my life? Taking off time of work, really kind of preparing for the fact that I am going into a serious surgery. They're going to cut me, that I'm going to be out of commission for at least several weeks. So it was really kind of getting into the mindset of what that would be for me. So 1 was mindset. 2 was diet. And for me, this played a huge role. I talked to my doctor, I talked to my trainer who helps me with my meal plans and nutrition. But one thing that we realized was really, really important in preparing for surgery, so the weeks going into surgery, and then definitely right after surgery, was my diet. So I planned to, and what I did was I ate anti-inflammatory foods to really kind of help prepare my body, but then also to keep the inflammation down right after the surgery. And I think that did attribute and help a lot. So things like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, mushrooms is huge. I really do love mushrooms. So I had a lot of mushrooms, berries. I factored all of that into my diet to help with the inflammation. And then especially after surgery, I didn't have that much of an appetite, but when I did eat, I really tried to make sure that it was really good quality food that I was putting into my body. So again, those anti-inflammatory dishes that I mentioned, but then also having a lot of leafy greens, protein, good quality food to really help my body recover. Because again, I was eating a lot less. I just didn't have an appetite. So the food that I was consuming, I was making sure that I was getting really nutrient dense food. So the diet was key for me. Number 3, meds. So I know everybody feels a little bit differently when it comes to taking medication after surgery, but this is a really major surgery. And at least for me, I've gone through other, probably not as serious as this, but I've had shoulder surgeries, different things done. I was a volleyball player because of my athleticism. So I knew that I wanted to have my meds on hand. And I had learned from previous experiences that you don't want to get your medication the day you leave the hospital, because you don't know how you're going to be feeling. You don't know what's going to be going on. So I made sure to get the prescription from my doctor in advance, and I got that prescription filled before surgery so that when I came home and when I was released from the hospital, the medication was already here at home. I was prescribed Norco, which is a narcotic, and I'm not a fan of it. Honestly, I didn't feel good taking it, and I honestly only took it for, I think, the first day that I got home, just because of the pain, but it didn't make me feel good. So immediately after that, I switched just to Tylenol, and I think I was on Tylenol from day 2 after the surgery when I got home up until like day 7. Just regular extra strength Tylenol, and I would take that as needed. But yeah, everybody's different. But one thing I did notice with the Norco, at least for me, so between having an abdominal surgery like that, and then depending on how you react to the medication, I had extreme bloating. Abs were completely gone. Like, so just get that out of your mind. Like, tummy's not gonna be flat for at least a couple of weeks. But it just made me feel really bloated, and I just didn't feel good. So just be aware of that and see what works for you. Talk to your doctor and your surgeon about what the best medication might be like for you. But for me, Tylenol was the way to go after day 1. All right, so one thing, it's number 5, okay? I can be quite dramatic sometimes, but I did a lot of research, and honestly, if there's one point that you take from me from preparing for this surgery, it is this. Number 5, I bought a recliner. Yep, I sure did. I bought a recliner for after surgery because I knew that I wasn't going to be very mobile, and I had talked to a bunch of different people, and everybody kind of said, you can't move around that much. It's going to be hard to sleep in your bed. My bed is high, and I love it, but I knew that it would probably be difficult for me to get in and out of the bed after surgery. So I did get a recliner that I put right in the living room, and I ended up sleeping in that recliner for the first 7 days. I tried each night to see if I could get into my bed, and I couldn't. Like, it was just like excruciating pain. And even if I did get into the bed, it was extremely uncomfortable. So I slept in a recliner. And honestly, that was like the saving grace for me, because I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have it. And I got one of those recliners that just off of Amazon, but it reclines all the way back. But then when you're getting up, it reclines, or it comes up and kind of ejects you out of your seat. So pretty much so you're like in almost a squat or like a standing position, if that makes sense. But that first week to 2 weeks, you have no core strength. So trying to hoist yourself out of it up and down and your girl got some strong legs. I work out and I couldn't do it. So that recliner really, really did make a huge difference for me. Point number 5, kind of going along with the recliner and the ability to, the lack of ability to move around, you are sitting. I have never sat more hours in my life. And honestly, like, I was going crazy because you don't think about it, but like, you're either laying down or you're sitting down. And my butt killed me. Like, I started to develop like bruises because I have never sat that much in my entire life. And even like, they tell you need to walk around. So I would get up, do like my slow laps around my house just to make sure I was moving around, but then you're sitting right after that. And I was developing bruises. So one thing that I'd say is a huge help is if you get some type of like seat cushion or something to help like evenly distribute the weight. I did end up getting one after 3 days because I sent my husband out to get it because it just got so painful. So yeah, just recognize that you are going to be sitting more than you probably ever have. I don't sit ever. Like, I'm always on the go. So to go from being extremely active to sitting down nonstop for about 2 weeks, has a toll on your body. So if you can get some type of seat cushion, or even if it's like a donut, like, you know, at some surgical supply stores, like they sell like listen, nobody said this was going to be a cute process, right? But that did help me a lot. So maybe consider if you can get something like that. So point number 6, comfy clothes. So you really want to have like some pajamas, like several pairs of pajamas and comfy clothes that you can wear, because you're going to be in your house. You're not going anywhere. In my head was like, oh, girl, I'm going to be out. I'll be fine after a couple of days. No, you're going to be home. So having comfy pajamas, and you want to make sure that they're a little bit loose fitting in the midsection area, because you will have your incision. You are going to be bloated, you're going to be swollen, and you're going to have stitches in as well. So you don't want anything rubbing up against it. So I would highly, highly, highly suggest that you get a few additional pairs of PJs or like lounging clothes that are very comfortable for you. And then point number 7, entertainment. You are going to be home. You're 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 not going anywhere. You're going to be home. So I would just really say that you want to stack up movies, shows that you wanted to watch. Like, I was so busy prepping for surgery. I had loads of episodes of all my faves, Housewives, Love and Hip Hop, like everything was ready, and I was watching that. That gets old after a while. So having books, magazines, and then visitors as well is a huge, huge help. Probably by day 3, I was feeling like not great, but just like I wanted to see other people other than my husband. So, you know, like I'd start letting my girlfriends come over and scheduling like, you know, like, cause you don't have a lot of energy either. So, you know, like a couple hours or an hour here and there that somebody can come and visit, and structuring that out so you have something to do and something else to look forward to. That did help me a lot. So being able to, you know, talk about other things other than just your surgery. So having good friends around you is really key. And then the 8th, and I can't believe I forgot this, it should have honestly been like number 1, is you need support. This type of surgery, like, you know, as women, like we go through so much, and like we feel like we can do it all, and we really can, but there is absolutely, I'll say this again, there is absolutely no way I could have recovered if I didn't have my husband here with me. Like, he literally did everything for me for 2 weeks. Like, he took about a week off of work, did every meal. He had to bathe me, change my dressing on the incision, get my food ready. I forgot the water in the other room, go and get it for me. Like, I need socks, like everything, because you can't be moving back and forth. You can't be trying to do all this stuff for yourself, because you can end up making your recovery and prolonging it a lot longer because of you trying to do so much. So you really need some type of support, like a family member or a friend who's able to kind of like stay with you at least for the first 3 to 4 days, because you're not going to be mobile and you're not going to be able to do very much for yourself. Okay. So those are my 7 plus bonus 8 tips that I think were key to my recovery for myomectomy. Again, so that was mindset, diet, your medication, getting a recliner if you can, girl, having a seat cushion or a donut. Number 6 was having comfy clothes. 7, entertainment. And 8, which really should be number 1, is support. So I will do a full video kind of on my myomectomy journey, but it's a process, and unfortunately it's like something that so many women go through. And I really hope that these 8 tips can really help you as you prepare. So good luck, and again, like, subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos kind of talking to you about my myomectomy fibroid journey. So see you guys.